London News. This is a brief introduction into a Zoom meeting we had last night with New Zealand and New South Wales and Victoria. What it was all about is just a basic discussion of what's actually happening up to date. Paperwork has been accumulated in relation to a couple of charges, and it's now in the UK for their approval. And when they're satisfied with that, they'll endorse it, send it back to us, and then the process from there on will go. Now, some people says, I'm the head of the common law court. Well, I'm not the head of anything. I don't own it. It's just the common law court endorsed by the UK. If people in other states want to start up a common law court, fantastic. It's got nothing to do with me. I've got no problems with it. The best of luck to them. The only reason we're doing it internationally is because all the problems go back to the UK, not us. And it's the people of Melbourne, the people of Sydney. They're the ones laying the charges against the wrongs that have been occurred in their direction. Now, I own nothing. I'm just the mediator. So don't anybody say that it's my court or I'm the head of it or anything. No, I'm not. I'm the head of nothing. I'm just the coordinator between New South Wales, Victoria, New Zealand, and the UK. And the guy in the UK is not his court either. He just represents on behalf of the people of the UK. International Common Law Court. It's in 100 and something countries. So it's nothing new. We're just going back as things were before corporations took over the world and run things. And it's the only way back we have, because the world in which we live in now is controlled by greed and money, and we have no say. With a common law court, we just basically charge the people who have trespassed against us and make them responsible for their actions in their private capacities, regardless of whether they're working for very large companies or governments. Anyway, this is London News. Let's cross over now, have a look at this little meeting last night. It's just to give you an idea. Next week, we will be doing an international one with the UK, and we'll publish with the UK, and we'll publish that as well, a little bit of it, just to show you what's going on. We're all in a learning process, so that there could be new common law courts set up in any state independent of the UK. That's got nothing to do with us. We just choose in Victoria and New South Wales to go along with the UK because it's got 3 years of standing, which is very important if you're trying to prove a point. Anyway, London News sign off. Thanks for watching, and catch you all again. Please subscribe. Bye for now. Okay, London News here in Melbourne. It's 6:45 on what day of the week is it, guys? Anybody help me out? I've forgotten. On Thursday. Anyway, I'd like to welcome New Zealand, New South Wales, and of course Victoria to this little conversation. And if we're all alive next week, we'll be talking again as a group to the UK. And welcome aboard, everybody. So, what do we reckon we should have a chat about tonight? Perhaps we should tell everybody about the paperwork. Jackie, how many summonses have gone for approval to the UK at the moment?
Yes, I have filled out all the paperwork for my unlawful speeding fine, which I've been fighting since January. They've just basically been ignoring it. They've removed my licence unlawfully, therefore my ability to earn any money. So I'm out of work at the moment. So I'm asking for my licence to be returned. I'm asking for my full points to be returned, and I'm asking for compensation for loss of wages due to no licence. So I've been fighting it for a long time, and they just blatantly disregard every email, and they just continued to send me out, increases in the fine. They've been dragged in the Department of Justice and Community Safety. So I'm the plaintiff, obviously, and I've taken in with my court case as the defendants the Director of Fines Victoria, the Director of Vic Roads, 3 or 4 people from the Department of Justice and Community Safety, and the Attorney General, because all of them have been involved in my correspondence, and nobody's giving me any remedy.
Yeah, and they've all been named in their private capacity. So
yes,
they'll get the next thing. They'll get an invitation to a mediation. Of course, they may or may not turn up to that. If they turn up to mediation, it will be videoed, And if there's no agreement reached, then the next thing they will get a summons delivered by the sheriff. Somebody will volunteer to do that, and either by registered mail or not, but they will make sure that the defendants will get that, and they'll be invited to a public meeting in Melbourne, and they're very welcome to come to that. But they'll definitely, should they fail to turn up, this court case will go before a jury of their peers, the people of Melbourne, not us. We're just volunteers for the International Common Law Court. So from there, whatever happens, if they get found guilty, well, it's up to the jury to make a decision what's the consequences of their unlawful action. So New Zealand, anything happening over there, you guys? Anything to report?
I asked Jackie, what license did they remove from you? Because I'm really interested in this. Was it your driver's license?
My driver's license. My driver's license.
Right. Well, of course, under common law, you don't need a driver's license anyway. You've got a rite of passage.
I know, and a friend, James Bartolo, he was actually pulled over at one of the roadblocks only within the last week, and he actually was driving with a suspended license, and his car was unregistered also, and he was able to talk his way out of that, and they let him go. Just as he's travelling in a private capacity.
Yeah. What we have to be careful as well when we driving or conveying in your private capacity is the fact is you do need to have insurance, and this is something a lot of people overlook. If you have insurance for your vehicle should you hit somebody, it's going to take a lot of the sting out of it, but driving without a license is not recommended, and I don't think anybody here will do that, but they have no lawful right to take that license off because of a camera, and you've accumulated some points. They've took that off without any adjudication by one of their courts even. So that's unlawful. So that's basically what Jackie is fighting here. The fact that she hasn't got a license is not her fault at this stage. It was done unlawfully. And here, okay, then New Zealand, you had some further questions. You want to go ahead and ask anybody?
I was about to talk about the driver's license and vehicles and things. Some years ago, I discovered something pretty interesting. In New Zealand, when you register a car, you actually hand the ownership over to the government. And I remember reading the back of an MR13A, which is a vehicle registration form. And it was just a casual thing. This was about 20 years ago. And I thought, I wonder why they do that. So I got hold of a lawyer friend of mine and I asked him to have a look at it. And he said, oh, I didn't know about that. So anyway, he read the form and he understood. It's a bit of a legal jargon thing. He said, yes, that's actually what's going on. You actually hand the ownership. And I said to him, well, what on earth is that about? And then the penny dropped, of course. That's how they can, if you have a speeding ticket or a parking fine and they run up, that's how they can seize your vehicle because they already own it anyway.
Yeah.
So my contention is they should pay for the maintenance of the damn things as well if they own them. But it's quite
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed the rules way back, you see, and it's under their law, it's a unilateral mistake. They didn't tell anybody when they went from a man or a woman owning the vehicle, they actually took ownership of it without telling you. So therefore, they've actually broken the law. So they're not that contract between you. When you signed for your license, there was a contract that you would agree to the rules and regulations of the road. But they broke that contract by not giving you full disclosure later on when they changed the rules. So what they're doing now is they're actually breaking the law, and they don't own the vehicle. So I suggest people register their vehicles with the Common Law Court in the UK. Things are very slow over in the UK at the moment, which we're all aware of, because John, every time I ring him, he answers the phone. They're still in the process of moving buildings, setting up a studio so they can make videos and get back the information back to the people who send them emails. And it's really, really hard work over there, as we're all volunteers and we're here after getting indigestion or about to get indigestion at tea time.
Barry, I've got two questions. When we pay for registration of our vehicles, doesn't that cover us for third party as well? Is there some kind of insurance within that registration fee here in Victoria?
TAC, I think, component of it.
Yeah.
The TAC bit of it that you pay as well, it's included in that rego that you pay.
Only if you have a valid license. You lose your insurance when your license is suspended, which is, in a sense, it's understandable. But You can. Someone did tell me this, and I'm not too sure how true it is, but you can actually organise insurance through the Road Traffic Authority, wherever it may be, or VIC Roads, whichever the case may be. If not, you can find some way of getting some personal insurance that will cover you in the case of an accident. But there again, the license will cause a little bit of trouble. Now that we've got this common law court up and running, we have an avenue back to fight for our rights to get our vehicles and property back.
So I've registered both of my vehicles with the common law court. And the ironic thing is that I've just paid registration on both those vehicles again here with Vic Roads.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. You've paid it. We have to comply at the moment. Even if, I mean, we're complying to Daniel Andrews at the moment for a lot of things. We have no comeback for the time being. But that's why we're all here together to work on that. And in time to come, in a very short space of time to come, we'll see some changes. It'll take a little bit of an uphill battle, but the people, it's up to the people to make a decision to change things. And with the people now totally brainwashed, in fact, they've got open minds, but the doors are all shut. And the more education they have, the tighter those doors are shut. So we're in an uphill battle, but things will change in November. Just hang in there, everybody who's wearing a mask.
Does anybody here know how to raise an indemnity bond off the back of a birth certificate?
No, Bill Turner is the only one, but Bill won't let out that secret. I hope he's watching this. He won't tell us the secret.
If someone can work that out, then there's your insurance policy for driving without a license or registration.
What was that, John? An indemnity bond off
the back of a birth certificate.
I'd like to pay my mortgage off with that as well.
Well, you can do a lot of things with that. Don't worry about that. But
in the process of doing all those things.
You are, Steph.
The trick is to work out how to actually raise a bond from a look. Someone, any bond trader or anyone in the money market should know how to do those things. Whether they're willing to divulge the information or the steps is another thing. But yeah.
Yeah, anyway, Stephanie, how about your paperwork for your very friendly Department of Cooks that takes money off you for nothing? Have you done anything about that yet?
No, what I actually would like to see for the entire group is step-by-step, easy process. Point 1, we fill out this form. Point 2, we fill out this form. Point 3, and have that really simple for everybody to be able to use. So I'd like that process put into place. I don't know who is going to do that, but I'm still don't know, which paper to fill out first, and so I'm going to go blindfolded and be like somebody new coming into this and saying, now how do we do this?
Okay, well, the expert at the moment is Jackie. We went up there, and Anne, we're on Sunday, we put the paperwork together and come up with the remedy. It's a very straightforward. So after this, when we go off the air, then we'll have a chat for a few minutes. We won't stay too long on this, and then we'll go step by step. It's a pretty simple process.
Okay, so are we going to have a little something that we hit on to say, how do you fill out your paperwork? Just a really simple instructions, because I think that
like a recipe you're talking about. First this, second that.
That's it. Yeah, recipe, method, how do we do it? How do we put it together? But we have to make it so simple for everybody to use. And
the documentation is already in, it's numbered, so 1, 2 and 3.
There's really only 3 documents.
Yeah.
Where are these documents, Ian?
Documents.
Brian, you've got them, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yes, and I've sent mine to John in the UK.
Okay, all right. So Stephanie, I'll email them to Stephanie and John. What about you guys in New Zealand? Have you got those documents?
Yeah, I think we have actually. Yes, we've got most of the documents. Yeah.
Most.
Yeah, Barry forwarded them to us. Yeah. And again, like you, we're just correlating them and looking at them and trying to make them as simple and understandable as possible.
So what I would like to add there is there still seems to be, there's no clarity in exactly precise instructions as to fill this paperwork out. Here's what you do. we all know now that it's only 3 forms that you fill out, 1, 2, and 3. But we need to see instructions. First thing, fill out form number 1. Second, number 2, number 3. Silly as that sounds, we need to make this really and truly simple.
Okay. They are pretty self-explanatory. You just need to, luckily they're in a Word doc format, so you can amend them fairly easy. So like the first one's your public notice of claim of right. Your second one is your statement of claim. The third one is the court information. So you just amend that to suit. So I'm just looking at mine. So my public notice of claim of right just has my name. I've left the date blank. So you just put in your details, and that pretty much stays the same. The first one, the public notice of claim of right. The statement of claim is
Hang on, guys. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll call into it now, and we'll talk off air, right? Okay, it was a great, interesting meeting we had tonight. I thank everybody for participating. We're going to go off the air now so we can discuss the inners and outers and how to do this paperwork. Thanks for watching London News signing off. London News signing off. Thanks for watching that. Looking forward to putting some new stuff up on words that we should not use in our language, like person, corporations, governments. These are all words, the swear words. How to deal with police when pulled over. Remember, there's 2 sides to everything, so we'll give both sides and help you out. Anyway, London News sign off. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Bye for now.